Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Stephen Luigi's Cookery Vlogs. I'm in my Halloween t-shirt and today I'm going to make some triple chocolate cupcakes for Halloween with creamy orange buttercream icing. All the ingredients will be listed below, but first of all I'm going to cream the sugar and the butter together. Once that's been mixed to a nice thick yellowy paste, then I will add all the other dry ingredients except the eggs. The cupcakes will be gluten-free and dairy-free, and I will also use sugar-free in the icing, but there will be caster sugar in the main cake mix. I've already creamed the butter and sugar together, and then once that's mixed up to a nice creamy paste, I turned the machine off and then I added the gluten-free flour, the baking powder, xantham gum and some cocoa powder. I folded it in with a spatula and then I'm mixing it on a very slow speed. In the meantime, I've whisked up my 4 eggs so that they're a nice frothy colour. I use free-range farm eggs. Still with the mixer on a slow speed. I know it looks fast, but this is the slowest. I'm going to just then pour in the eggs that I've beaten up till they're nice and frothy. If you're using vanilla extract, then blend that in with the eggs. If you're using vanilla powder, then put it in when you're putting all the dry ingredients in. Okay, and then I'll just let that blend for about 5 minutes. I did forget to mention before you start, turn your oven on and preheat it to about 180 degrees. I also found this little gadget on the internet. It's perfect for little whisking jobs like the eggs in the jug. While the cake mix is mixing, that's when I start to set up my cupcake cases in the baking trays. I found these little cupcake cases in B&M, not bad, 100 of these for about £1.50. So far I've managed to set up 24 cakes. The batter has been beating for about 5 minutes, so now I'm going to take it off, and there we are, nice and sticky on the scales. And then into here I'm going to add about 150 chocolate chips. There we go. Doesn't matter if you go over, adds to the chocolatey. Turn your mixer on for another few minutes until the chocolate chips are nicely blended. I use as dark as chocolate as possible. These ones are good because the darker the chocolate, there's no dairy in them. Once your batter is nicely mixed and you're ready to load your cupcases, then you will need a dessert spoon. I use one that's about this size. And then into each cupcake, just place a nice healthy spoonful. Your mix should be able to fill up all the cases, and some of them will look quite full, but don't worry because they'll rise quite nicely. And there are the cup cases. I know I've spilled a little bit there, but never mind, it'll cook off nicely. And there we are. So now I'm just going to pop them in the oven at 180 degrees. Be careful when you open your oven because the hot air will come out. There they are in the oven now at 180 degrees, and then we'll let them cook for about 20 minutes and then check on them. The timer has just gone on. They've actually had 25 minutes in the oven, so very slowly, as you can see, it just steamed up. There we are, very careful, and there they look perfect. We're just going to do the test now. So stick a knife in there. I do it to all of them, and they're coming out lovely and clean. Now I'm going to put them on a metal rack and leave them to cool down. Always remember to use an oven glove or something to protect your hands with because everything will be hot. Managed to make 24. There's my Halloween punch drink. And there they are, cooling down now on the metal rack. Some of them have risen up quite nicely, while others have just stayed a little bit flat. Don't worry, all nice shapes, and well, that's home cooking for you. Now to ice the cupcakes. I'm going to use sugar-free Canderel icing sugar and plant-based butter. For the ingredients, we need to measure equal amounts of dry and liquid. So 400 grams of sugar, then we'll add 400 grams of butter and orange juice or orange essence. In my bowl, I've now creamed up the butter and the orange essence. I'm also going to add now the zest of one orange and then carry on blending that. If you like, you should invest in one of these. It's a KitchenAid hand blender and it's cordless. It's brilliant. So I'm going to blend this all and then I'm going to add the sugar. And there's the buttercream icing, nicely blended. In my wet ingredients, I had 420 grams, which was the butter and the orange essence plus the orange zest. And the dry ingredients, I used 2 of these. These are, you can't see, but they're 220 grams. So I actually ended up with 440 grams of icing sugar. It's nicely blended and it has a very tangy, almost sherbety taste. So let's get piping. As it's Halloween, I wanted to make my buttercream a bit orangey. I added 10 drops, I haven't got any orange, so I added 10 drops of the red and it's gone sort of pinky, but it'll just add a little bit of colour. For the piping, I use the disposable bags from Lakeland, and I'm using one of these nozzles because it's my favourite one. Well, there's my icing bag. It's all fully loaded and ready to go. When you're doing icing, try and remember to twist the top of the bag, because then when you do your icing, you can get a good grip right on the end of the sack, sort of thing. As it's Halloween, I'm also using one of these little red sprays, just for the glitter effect. I don't know if I hope you can see it coming out. Just sprinkle the cake before we ice them. And some of these I'm going to do with a bit of gold, just to give it a bit of colour. See what happens. There. And there we are, that's the cakes all iced and piped. I've done sort of little flowery things there and then just a swirl. This is why I use the particular nozzle I do, because I can do the 2 different designs. There we are. Now to decorate on top of the icing. B&M, you can get all these things. And then in Asda, I also found these scary pumpkin things. And here they are, all decorated and sprinkled. And now all I've got to do is box them up and they're ready. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please click like, share, follow, subscribe, and whatever you like. Please also leave feedback and a message if you wish to. Thank you again and happy Halloween!